Okay, awesome. Here we go. So thank you guys so much for hopping on. It's Monday night, one of my very favorite days of the week because we all get to be together. But you guys, it is even more special tonight because we are joined by Ray Urdaneta. And for those of you that are new to our family, Ray is actually our CEO. And you guys, he is the visionary of our company. He honestly is really the reason that we get the opportunity to come together on Monday nights. Before we get started, I would love if you guys would pop in the chat really quickly and just tell Ray how excited you are about our Making Spirits Bright limited edition sets. Ray, you guys really hit it out of the park with that one. I don't know about you guys, but I literally finished my Christmas shopping in like 10 minutes. So you guys did really good. You guys, I asked Ray to come to us tonight, and just there's so many new people and so many new people that haven't had the opportunity to meet Ray or experience really who Ray is. And so I wanted him to share he and Carolina's story and kind of how they got started, because I think it is so important for us to never forget where we came from and how hard we have worked and how hard we continue working on where we are headed. And so really without Ray and Carolina and Louise and Stuart and everybody just kind of following their dreams and their passions and staying consistent and truly never giving up, they've not only built a billion-dollar brand, but you guys, they've also given us, you and I, the opportunity to follow our dreams and our passions. And so we always say it takes just one yes. And because of Ray's one yes and his determination and his hard work, we are all on this call tonight. And so Ray, I think I can speak for everybody on this call when I say thank you, thank you, thank you for following your dreams. And thank you so much for getting on our team huddle tonight. We are so excited to have you.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, thank you for those words. Well, I feel so humble telling me those incredible words. You know what? I'm super, super grateful for everything that has happened, and I just thank God for giving me the guidance and the wisdom, because sometimes I don't even know how I got here. Sometimes it's crazy.
It's our CEO of our Monet.
Oh, what happened? You hear me? Yep. Okay. So, okay, got it. So yeah, Steph wanted me to talk about my story and my wife's story. It's been a long journey. I mean, we're super young. Well, I want to believe we're still young, but we moved to the United States 20 years ago, and newlyweds, just wanted to come for an adventure. I've been doing some kind of business venture since I can remember. I mean, I was literally 16 years old, and I was selling perfumes in Venezuela, door to door. Carolina and I, we had been dating since we were 16 years old, and together we did top-over parties when we were 17, close to 18. We were doing top-over parties, and I remember I was going up into the compensation plan in top-over, and I was going to law school too, and my parents told me, no, you have to focus on school. I said, ma'am, I promise I can do both. But anyway, I stopped doing top-over because my mom was afraid I was going to drop out of school, which I ended up doing anyway back in Venezuela. And what else did I do? I started selling sporting goods, tennis shoes, and sporting Nike and Adidas. I would come to Miami, buy wholesale, and go back to Venezuela and resell it there. And one of those trips, I realized that I wanted to move to this country. It had always been my dream. So one of the trips, I went back and told Carolina, you want to get married and move to Miami? And she's okay, let's do it. I went to my mom, and she's like, are you out of your mind? Even Dad told me, are you crazy? Why? You have a good life here. You're going to school, you're going to college. Why do you want to do that? It's like, I don't know. Like I've never been conservative, but I've never been aggressive. You know, I've always kind of have a plan. And I asked a lot of people around me. It's like, I don't know what got into me that I decided to go to the United States. I went to tell my mom, and mom was like, I was still 18. And she's like, no, how are you going to do that? You're crazy. I mean, you're in the middle of school. I was really good at school. And Carolina and I just decided to come. And when Steph said that it's because of me or it's because of my decisions, I think so, but I think there is something beyond that, right? I think there is always, like Stuart says, God's hands is behind it, because what got me to come to the United States, I don't know. And then one day we got here, and once again, with nothing, we had about $600 in our pockets. A long, very long distance cousin picked me up at the airport and gave me a home for 6 months. Karina slept under the stairs, literally in a twin mattress. She worked at McDonald's. She didn't speak English, so she got a McDonald's in the kitchen. I spoke some English. Like I got a job at Sears doing hard work, and I'm really, really, really bad with with handyman stuff. My father always told me that, Ray, it's good that God give you a brain, because with your hands you're terrible. So, but I worked at Sears hardware department, and part time. Got to be actual assistant manager there, and then I got a job at telemarketing selling Capital One Visa cards. One of the worst jobs I ever had, because people could yell me, right? You know how you yell at people when they called you in the middle of dinner? Well, that was me. I did that, and Carolina got a job in that too, in another department, just making minimum wage, that she could only do it in Spanish. And so we did that, and then at one point I told Carolina, listen, I feel like my brain is gonna fry here. You have to do something else. So I just went out and once again went to sell back door to door, selling perfumes here in Miami, door to door, sunglasses, and it was good. I mean, I could make a couple of $100s a day. I was super happy. Then I got an idea. Well, I got another friend who was doing it. I got an idea of picking up people at the airport. So I would go pick up people at the airport. People that would be referred to me. They would sleep at my apartment with Carolina, and it's like a bed and breakfast. But I could take them around town. We got a lot of people coming from Latin America for shopping. I could take them shopping around town, and that was good too. I would make $150 a day, $200 a day. Was happy. But then after that had retired from doing direct sales for about 5 to 6 years, and he was missing it, right? So he went back to be a sales director of a Swiss company that was growing back there, and he was doing really good back again. And he said, "Right, you know what? I'm really good at this. Why don't we open up our own company?" And it's like, "Well, yeah, maybe, yeah. Why don't you? We can raise some money, and you can take care of marketing operations. You come up with the products, and I'll do all the field, right? The motivation and training and developing leaders." And I said, "Let's do it." We raised $80,000. We raised $80,000, and with that money, we're able to make our first product. So I developed a first line of products, bath and body, very, very simple, nothing like Monet's. Had no idea what I was doing. I was about 20, 21 years old. I had no idea what I was doing, but developed a line of bath and body, very basic. Start shipping those products to Venezuela. I loaded my first container myself, shipped the products to Venezuela. The labels were a mess or wrinkled, but they were good products. And our first catalog was made in a PowerPoint presentation. That was our first catalog. We have no money, and no software. It was Excel sheets, very basic. But we worked very hard. It took us a while. It wasn't as explosive as Monet. We learned. We make a lot of mistakes. I always say that we have made way more mistakes that the right thing, because I always say, listen, it's like baseball, right? You have to keep swinging at it. And if you do it 3 times out of 10, you're batting 300, you're a superstar. But you have to fail about 7 times out of 10. And I literally feel that that's been our life. Like, we have failed so much. But in the net out of things, after 9 years, we built a $200 million company. We went into 5 countries, and we were doing very, very well. But then in Venezuela, things got really bad. I was living here, I was shipping products. We had a nice office. We were in different countries, Mexico and Ecuador, Colombia. But Venezuela was our biggest market. And everything got really bad there because of the government. I'm sure you've heard, terrible situation. Now that it's even worse. And you have to, we have to reluctantly and very, very, was one of the toughest decisions of our life. We have to shut down the company. With 500 employees, with thousands of distributors, but there was no option because there was no way we could keep shipping products because there was no way to get the money out back to pay the vendors. At some point, I remember I had $30 million in debt, and I had about $1 million in the company account, and I had no way to pay. So to pay my suppliers here in China, I was going to China to get a lot of promotions and appliances, and I would go to China twice a year, and I had no way, right? There was no way. So we had to shut down the company, and it was pretty much like, we're done. Like we closed this company. What do we do now? And I'm talking about 2012, and at that point, a series of events happened, and the manufacturer that was doing our products that we met in 2001, BNR, had grown so much, and they have an amazing R&D team. And by now, we're doing these great products, and they were doing even for other customers. And we saw an opportunity to acquire BNR because we didn't want them to go under. Dad and I have always been very, very careful with money, and we've been very, very conservative with finance. We have no debts. We don't have partners, and we understand this business very well. So we always have make sure that we stay very well capitalized. So we saw the opportunity to purchase VNR. Why? Because I wanted to have access to the R&D that they had. And at the same time, I started doing research. I said, okay, what do we do now, right? So we've learned so much. We built this big company, and you have to shut down. And start doing a lot of research around the market here in the United States. And I was doing a lot of research, went to conference, seeing what other companies were doing. And I said, you know that this might be a blessing in disguise. I think we have an opportunity to build a new company, knowing what we know now, using what we've learned, is opening a new company, but a company of the 21st century. And it comes Moneta. It wasn't called Moneta at the beginning. It was going to be called So Good. Actually, the company name first was Glance, and then it was going to be So Good. And I'll tell you why we didn't end up calling it So Good. But we started putting this idea together. I told that, listen, the world have changed. Direct sales, it's an amazing channel, but we have a problem. The direct sales, there's a problem in the DNA of how things have been done for the last few years. And one of the problems is that distributors overstock products, and that companies just push $1,000, $2,000 product packs into the distributor's hands, and there is no good career path, and that's how they do the business, right? But I like the idea of actually creating a business in which the product is as strong as the opportunity. That we have really two strong foundations of product opportunity. Why? Because most companies would do other companies would do an amazing opportunity, great compensation plan, but very bad product. Like the product wouldn't survive being without a compensation plan. I want a product as strong that even without the compensation plan, it could survive. So not that I could never do that, but philosophically, it would give you two strong foundations. This way, you can have a lot of customers, and when you have a lot of customers, real customers, you have a consistent business for your distributors, which distributors weren't called market partners yet. All those terminology were a work in progress. So with that idea, and the use of technology, social media, a cool brand, we started doing Moneta. And once again, doing a lot of research and tweaks using what we know. Traditionally, direct sales is about what? It's about people. In direct sales, you have to make sure your people is successful, because if your people is successful, your success will come after. You cannot see your people with dollar signs, or you cannot see your people somebody that you just will recruit or sponsor, and you won't see them anymore. No, you have to focus on their dreams, on their wants, on their success, and then when that happens, then everything will work. So we already knew that, and it has been traditional direct sales. But if we can do that, once again, we can do an amazing product. So we came up with an anti-aging of the hair, because it was just a trend that was starting. And it's funny because I had the opportunity just recently, business call with who used to be the global head of Avon, and she was actually making Stuart and I making us questions on how do you guys do that, and how do you have been so successful, and where are you? And we in the industry we share, right? We believe there is opportunity for everybody. So we're sharing with her some of the stuff we do, And she's like, you guys were pioneers. And I had never thought about this. She told me this 2 weeks ago. She said, you did the skimification of the hair before it was something. And now everybody, all the big brands are doing a skimification of the hair, right? Nobody thought that the scalp, or were thinking that the scalp actually ages way faster than the skin. And when one of my employees told me this, actually wasn't my idea. It was one of the employees told me, "Why don't you do anti-aging?" And he started pitching me the idea. Started asking around, and I would come to Carolina or my mom, my aunts. It's like, do you know that your scalp ages? And they would say, no, I didn't know that. And yeah, and so we come up with the line of products using what? Using nature, because that's what everybody wants now. But then when we start doing natural products, we knew that the natural products, I mean, we noticed that the natural products, if you go too organic, they don't work. So we would benchmark with products from Whole Foods and stuff like that, and they would actually be really bad, like no foam, we wouldn't clean enough, no results. So what we did is that we worked really hard with our R&D team and product development team back then to create a product that would still be without the bad ingredients, but a product that would work. So that's when we found ingredients like a pixil and chlorasol and procalcitonin, which are natural based, but that had clinical studies in which they were efficacious. And we would benchmark. I remember we would do split heads, and would use big national brands that didn't have, that still had the bad ingredients, that were not clean beauty, and we would benchmark with ours that were clean beauty, and we would push until they were as good as the ones that were not clean beauty. And the rest is history. I mean, we launched a company, and since we launched a company, it's been a complete success. I mean, they said, remember in October 2014, we launched, we had 500 distributors, and they said that normally companies take a year, right, to achieve 500 distributors. It took us 2 months of pre-launch. And I think that the brand, the story of my family, being transparent, being real, it's always worked from since day one. I met Stuart at the end of 2013, and you know how I met Stuart? I met Stuart through LinkedIn. One night I was just, people start following you, and Deb, Stuart's wife, started following me, and it's like, oh, you're in Tampa? I'm in Miami. We're close. Yeah, I'm opening this company. Oh yeah, we do consulting, and that's how Stuart and I met. And they drove down to Miami, and we met, and we identify, I mean, each other since day one, because when we met, that Stuart and I, and once again, we wanted to do the same. Stuart had a great experience with other companies, knew the market very well. We know direct sales. And we wanted to create, like, Stuart was in retirement, but we really wanted to create this new company using the best of everything we knew, and like clean slate, right? Start from zero and doing it right. And it's like, okay, we want to do it right. I mean, we did great before, but we can do better. And by the way, the company was not called so good because, I mean, I even have the logo, I have everything. And Stuart, when he was consulting, he said, great. I mean, it's a cool name, but think about this. Good is the enemy of great. So are you going to call the company so good? Good is not great. It's like, shoot, Stuart, you're right. Let's dish the name, and we have to start from zero. And then Lou helped me put together the Monet name with Modern Nature, right? Because that's what we were doing. Um, but I think, Steph, when I talk about my story, if I can give an advice, if I can give something that I've learned, is consistency is key. I mean, I know you hear this all the time, and I tell this to close friends, I tell this to close relatives, but consistency is so key, because, and it's so hard at the same time. It's easy to say, hard to do, because consistency means that you're going to start doing something. And it's like Mike Tyson says. I was looking at this Instagram post the other day. Mike Tyson says, everybody want to fight until they get punched in the face the first time. And I think that's what consistency is about, especially when you're doing business. You go in, you're excited, you got your first win, and then boom, you get punched in the face. And what are you going to do now? Are you going to just stay down, or you're going to keep going? And that's the difference. I can tell you, I mean, I'm a big student of people. I not only study people that I know, I read about big, successful people all the time. And I can tell you my own story my parents' stories. My parents came from extreme poverty and were able to bring me to middle class. And I have always had this um, responsibility that I feel that I have to even go to the next level with opportunities they gave me. And I've seen it. Consistency is about being able to go through hard times. And in this business, in direct sales, it's the same. I've been doing direct sales for 20 years, but I grew up watching my mom doing top over parties all my life. And I can see that people come and go. And the people that stay is the people that first don't the people that doesn't overcomplicate, the people that don't overthink, the people that don't start looking at the bad things. I mean, I was having a call the other day, a coaching call, I have to say, with a senior executive director. And and she was telling me, okay, hey, what happened? I mean, you had momentum a few months ago, you lose momentum. And she started listing me the things that were wrong. But they were like unimportant stuff. Like, oh, we had no samples. It was like 2 months ago. It's like, well, samples is a tool, but I don't think you were successful because of samples. So let's not put on the samples. Oh, but we have this technology problem the other day. Yeah, but we have had issues forever. Like we have had problems always. And eventually we'll have problems again. There is no way you will find the perfect company. We're not perfect. We try to be, but we're not close to it. But you know what? You build this multi-million-dollar business because of the strength of the company, because of the quality of the product, because of your work, because your consistency, because everything you were doing, not because we had samples. So why do you focus on the negative? And I tell you this because I've seen it so many times. The best, most successful, consistent people that I've seen in direct sales never see the negative, and they never overcomplicate. They just see the bright light. And sometimes they're over optimistic. I prefer to be over optimistic, because if I'm not over optimistic, you know what? I would drain energy. I would just paralyze. I would wait for the perfect moment, which never gonna be. Even when we're launching the company, or we've launched a product, I have to say, sometimes it's not exactly as I wanted. We're launching this campaign today, and we launched the mini set last week, and we've been working the whole year. The day that we're going to launch, I have anxiety. It's funny, I always laugh with myself, and I tell that, it's like, every time it's like, I start thinking of everything that's wrong, right? That nobody know, only me. Oh, this is wrong, and this is wrong. I wish I had done this. It's like, no, I have to block myself and say, no, it's going to be great. It is what it is. Let's go with it. Because if I couldn't do that, then first of all, I could never launch anything, and I would never execute on any campaign. If I have to wait for the perfect software or the perfect marketing material or the perfect this and the perfect that, I could never do a campaign. And one of the success of Monet, I believe, is that we're really quick in terms of reacting to seasons of COVID, right? When COVID hit, we have to adapt month one, and we have to pivot to Impact Week. I mean, we have this big convention happening, and we have to pivot. And we did Impact Week, and it was great. Of course, we had anxiety, but because we have the ability in the company to adapt, knowing that not everything could be perfect. And sure enough, we do Impact Week, and as soon as we start the event, the platform goes down, right? And it was horrible, but we were able to go up within an hour, and then we had a great event. What if I say, no, we're not going to do it because it's not perfect? And I think it's in life and in doing any business, even your Monet business, it's the same. I'm going to do it when I have my perfect. Now I hear people saying, I'm going to do it when I have my perfect IG platform, when I have followers. And it's like, it doesn't work like that. I've seen STDs building this business with no followers at all and with no previous experience in direct sales. I've seen STDs doing it and directors, ADs doing it in 6 months. I've seen some doing it in 3 years. Not everybody have the same pace, or not everybody will hit it the same. It took us a year to do in Monet, what it took us 10 years to do it with our other company, right? And you never know when you're gonna hit it, but it goes back again to consistency. You have to stay consistency. If you have a routine, which I'm big on routines and discipline. If you have a routine, which you know you have your income producing activities, your IPAs, and if you have a routine which you're doing your IPAs, and you know, well, Mondays I'm gonna do this, I know I have to prospect 10 people every single day. I have to talk to 10 persons. No matter what, I have to talk to 10 people every single day, 5 days a week, or maybe not 7, but 5 days a week. And you're prospecting, looking for no's, finding your rhythm, finding your message, and massaging the way you're doing it. And at the same time, you're also working with your teams if you have a team twice a week. And if you know that you have to do personal development 15 minutes every day. And if you have this routine, of course, you have to have in your routine your time for your family and for your kids. And you really commit to it, but really commit, not, well, yeah, I did it for 2 weeks. It's like going to the gym, right? Oh, I went to the gym and have no results. Well, how long has it been? 2 weeks. So one like that. You have to go like, I started going to the gym 7 years ago because I started having kids. It's like, no, I want to get in shape by the time I'm 40. It took me like 4 years to get my rhythm, but I just don't think about it, right? When you have a routine, you don't think about it. You know you have to talk to 10 people every day, you'll do it, right? And you know that's uncomfortable, that's fine, you'll do it. But if you overthink and think, well, maybe no, well, it's like waking up in the morning, like you start finding excuses, you'll find 10 excuses to keep pressing the alarm 10 minutes more, right? So I think consistency, discipline, and routine, if that's something that I've learned, and be brave. I mean, have my mindset, right? But have tough mindset, knowing that if you fail, that's fine. Knowing that if you're winning, that's fine. Knowing that, you know what, those are winning, am I not? I'm gonna feel bad about myself. I'm the complete opposite. If I say they're winning, it's because I know it's doable. It's because it's possible, right? Don't tell me if somebody else is doing it that it's not possible, and there is no reason why I wouldn't be able to do it. Somebody else is doing it, and oh well, but they have this excuse. No, the most successful people. Give me a second, honey. Can you stop that? Thank you. You want to say hi? You say hi. 5 minutes, I'll be with you. Okay.
Okay.
She wants to play. So, now you. So, that's my train of thought. So anyway, so yeah, we're talking about discipline. We're talking about consistency, about a mindset, right? And have a tough mindset, knowing, not comparing yourself with others, knowing that you have your own reading. When I started doing, if you want, you know what? When I started doing the business, I started going to conferences. I saw those guys with $500 million companies, $300 million company in the US, and I have to admit, I thought to myself, I don't know if I could ever do that myself. And now I saw those guys, which still respect and admire, and they're at 500, 400 million, and Monet is at 800, 900 million. And I can't believe how we got here sometimes. I have to say, I don't even know. But you know what? I don't think about it. And I still, to the day, I try not to think about it. I just go every day, go and push and don't give up. And you know what? Sometimes, most times, actually, I have to get my executive get used to this. We would say, we're going to sell $100 and we end up selling 80. No, now we'll do it again, $100 and 80. And we've been years, maybe 2 years, shooting for a goal that we don't achieve. But it doesn't matter because you're still shooting. Eventually, every single time we hit, you know how long we've been hitting, we're trying to get to $1 billion? 3 years. And every year it's like, we feel this is going to be the year. We feel this is going to be the year. We feel this is going to be the year. And it never is. It's never been for the last 3 years. And this year, we want to get very close to be $1 billion company. On a run rate, we're already $1 billion company. And it's like, Dad and I would talk about this all the time. It's like, we don't give up. We just keep going. We don't get frustrated. We don't feel bad about ourselves. We don't victimize. I did a post the other day about victimizing. We don't victimize. We're never going to make circumstances be the reasons of what we say, oh, we can do it. We'll make sure that we create our own circumstances. And there are circumstances, we'll deal with them, we'll find a solution. It might take us a month, it might take us 3 months, it might take us a year, but we're not going to give up. I swear to you, in 20 years I've been doing business, I've done not very well or failed 14 years. We have really won 6 years out of 20. 6 out of 20, we have actually said, well, this was a great year. The other 14 is being, well, so we actually didn't do very well. So guys, never give up. I think the big message is that it's not Ray saying it, it's not Luis saying it, it's not the Stuart saying it. Is study anybody who has been successful, and they will tell you it again and again. And you see young people today being super successful at 25, being not in direct sales, in any area of the business. But you see others that didn't find their success until they were 65. Doesn't matter. we have one life, I would say. We have one life, and there is no reason why we have to conform with mediocrity with the only life that we have. So let's always try to do the best that we can out of it.
Oh my goodness, Ray, you brought it tonight. There was lots of comments in the chat, and just thank you so much for everything that you said. You guys, while we're wrapping up, I would love for you, if you could, just type in the chat maybe one thing that Monat has done for you and your family. We did this on our director call last week, and you guys, it was so good. It was such a good reminder that Monat is a vehicle truly to change people's lives. And also a great reminder that we still have a lot of lives left to change. And so just type in the chat, and then we'll post it in the team pages, and then also share with Ray, because I mean, they put a lot of heart and soul into everything that they do. And so it's always good for them to have that good feedback of, you know, what you guys are doing and how Monat has really truly changed and transformed your life. So Ray, thank you so much for just being so authentic and human, and just putting it out there, right? Just saying that, you know, you still have doubts too, but it really is about showing up. It's about being consistent. You guys, it's about doing the work. And even if we're tired, and even if we're afraid, it's about doing it scared and talking to people. And it's okay to be afraid, but do it scared. You just have to do it. You just have to show up. The more you do it, I promise, the easier it gets. And pretty soon that passion and that purpose are going to take over any fear that you have ever had. And there's a couple things that I wrote down because I really thought they were really good. Ray talked a lot about when you fell. We all fell. We've done things in our lives, in our businesses, but it's about failing forward. It's about taking what we've done and improving that and being a better version of ourselves today than we were yesterday. And one time, and this is when Teresa Epps was here, and I think she had the same conversation with Tammy, but she said, what do you think our #1 product is? And I mean, I was maybe still a couple years in, I don't know. And I was like, our Rejuvenate oil? Because I mean, I really believe, right? Like that's our flagship product. And she's like, no, Stephanie, our #1 product is the opportunity. The business opportunity is the #1 product. That is the thing that you can talk to people that can change their lives. And I love that you said, you know, none of us are perfect. And to not be a victim. You guys, we all have circumstances and we all have things that we have been through in our lives, but we can't take those circumstances and use those as excuses to not work our business, or use those as excuses to not show up and be our best self. So make sure that you're working on those IPAs. Make sure that you're working on those non-negotiables. It's like brushing your teeth. You would never wake up and not brush your teeth. It needs to be the same thing with working your business. You just have to decide what those non-negotiables are. So, Ray, did you want to add anything?
No, thank you for the invitation. You know, Steph, I appreciate you so much. I'm trying to see some of the names of people in this call that I really appreciate. You are one of the leaders that have been with us for years. And the #1 thing that you always hear me saying about Monat, that I think, I'm sure make us different, is our culture. And you are one of the leaders that has helped us shape that culture. And thank you for everything you do. And you guys have to be very, very proud of having Stephanie as one of your leaders. Thank you, Steph, for the invitation.
Yes, thank you. I appreciate that so much. Thank you for hopping on. Thank you guys for hopping on. I know you're going to walk away on fire and excited. So I can't wait to see what the rest of the week brings. So you guys have a great evening. And thank you so much, Ray. Bye, everybody.
Thank you. Happy Thanksgiving. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Stephanie. Thank you, Ray.
Thanks, everybody.